In today's episode of the Deadly Dozen podcast, I'm joined by Myles, who is quite frankly, a prolific Hyrox racer. He's done quite a few Deadly Dozens. The first time I met Myles actually was at the second Deadly Dozen track race in Macclesfield's second ever. I remember seeing Myles. Obviously, you're what now, Myles? You're 60 years old, so you would have been probably late 50s then, wouldn't he, last year, obviously? And I seen this big guy coming through, and it wasn't a case of I thought, right, I hope I look like him when I'm his age. It's like, I hope I look like him now. Why don't I look like him? Because you're built, aren't you? You're pretty stacked for a 60-year-old.
60-year-old.
Yeah, definitely. That was something that really, as he come running through the finish line, I was like, this guy's fast. And obviously then I later learned how many Hyrox he's done, how successful he is as a Hyroxer, that it all made sense then. And obviously since then he's been doing Deadly Dozen races, and he's also been part of the core team in terms of coming and helping us as race staff, what we call now the red shirts. So setting up on the day and being part of the event, being a head judge and whatnot. So firstly, Myles, thanks for coming. And can you start by just explaining a little bit about yourself, your background, where you've come from and who you are?
Yeah. My background, I've come from a rowing background, ergs.
Oh, wow.
I started about 25, 30 years ago. And at that time, I was also doing a lot of running, which was sort of went hand in hand with the rowing training, the erg training. Did a lot of marathons about 35, 40 years ago.
Wow.
And I did a couple of Marathon des Sables, which is an endurance race, I suppose, which is 6 or 7 marathons over a 5 period.
Wow. And were you quite a competitive marathon runner?
My fastest was about 3:10, 3:15.
Yeah, so a respectable time, especially at your sort of weight.
Yeah, it's all right. It was okay. But yes, the endurance running, I suppose, took a back seat about 20 years ago. My last race was in Mali, and that was a race too far for me. I didn't finish. So that's when I decided to, I suppose, go into fitness racing. And started training again, probably only recently, about 10 years ago, less, I suppose. And then fell across Hyrox about 4 or 5 years ago.
And you were sort of an OG, weren't you? You started in the early days. And how many Hyroxes have you done?
I've started 38. Didn't finish 2 with the doubles partner on 2 occasions.
Their fault, not yours. Or your fault for pushing them too hard. That's the problem.
Perhaps, yeah. Perhaps.
He's blown up, hasn't he, on the first run?
It was something like that.
Yeah. But you've done 38 Hyroxes.
37 or 38 Hyroxes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're probably one of the people in the UK that have done the most.
Possibly. I've been to 4 World Championships.
Wow.
And I'm not quite sure how many races I've won, but it could be high 20s.
Wow. And how many have you done at the World Champs?
I've got 3/4 and a second. I've never been that top step.
And how was the last World Champs?
Not great.
Because of the carpet?
Because I was one of the guys who got a sticky sled on the carpet.
The unfortunate few that got the sticky.
Yeah.
And that really, it's our other media guy, Stephen, who races in Hyrox, very successful racer in his age group. He got a sticky sled as well. And he wasn't happy. And we all love Hyrox, but it upset a lot of people, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm the current world record holder in my age group. And I was looking there to win. I wouldn't have gone there if I didn't think I could win. I certainly wouldn't have gone if I thought I was going to come fourth.
And obviously, I remember when we met in Birmingham at the Hyrox, you said to me that you didn't like the fact that the over 60s didn't use the pro weights, but you've just said to me that they're starting to use them now. Has Hyrox just brought that in? That all world champs have to use pro weights?
Correct, yes. I was going to be doing doubles with my partner this season coming up, but unfortunately she's got a long-term injury now.
Yeah.
Because we were going to looking to dominate the mixed doubles and get world records and world championships.
And she's same age as you.
Yeah.
And
but now Hyrox have said the 60-year-olds can use the pro weights. That's
He's going to
be it.
dominate. Because basically, that's one of the things that we've been talking a lot about Hyrox is we were having a discussion at a talk I did recently, which was that if you're a really good runner, even if you're average at the stations, I was going to call them labours then, if you're average at the stations, a lot of these people are going sub 70, they're getting really respectable times just because you've got people now that can hold 4-minute Ks, doesn't matter how tired they are, they're just they're that running efficient.
They come from a tri background, for example.
Yeah. So they're just such good runners, whereas obviously the pro weights are really a step up, especially like for the men, that 9-kilo wall ball, them sleds. For the runners, so what we call like the race snakes often.
The racing snakes, I always call them.
Yeah. Because you have got the muscle, which, you know, if you see him in a vest, especially after a deadly dozen, he come through looking like a bodybuilder. I was like, who's this guy? And because you've got that added strength and you've got the height and obviously coming from the ergs, I mean, we know from feedback from Hyrox is that a lot of people actually, they have sort of like a love-hate relationship, or they actually really dislike ergs for whatever reason it may be. Now, we know being tall as a rower and having that weight, you being over, 90 kilos or so, you've got quite an advantage on the ergs, which obviously that doesn't change between open and pro, but you doing them heavier sleds, being good on the ergs, you're probably going to get a big advantage, aren't you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it will slow, as I call it, the racing stakes down. The guys who are 80 kilograms, and they're running a 32, 33 minute 8K. I'm 35, 36. That will try and translate hugely for the sleds, the pull, the carries, and the wall balls. For me, it's a no-brainer.
It's the way to go.
And with my partner being injured, I just need to get some pro tickets now. That's the tricky part.
And how did you find out of interest then? You were one of the first people to come to Deadly Dozen.
Yeah.
How did you find that compared?
On paper, I thought, this is what I do at my gym all day long. And I thought,
This is the beauty of the race.
Yeah, this is because I have a gym at my home, and then I also go to it's called Strong, down on the village green, down where I live, and they do everything here in just like Deadly Dozen. So I thought I'd do this, 4 or 5 times a week on top of my Hyrox training.
Yeah,
I could do it all day long. But first 400 meters straight into farmer's carry. Oops.
Yeah,
and then into deadlift, and it was just it was very interesting. You had to give it a lot more respect after that.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the big. If someone said to me, "What's the biggest takeaway from the first season and the first race?" it was the most underestimated race in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all the CrossFitters said it. All the Hyroxers said it. It was just overwhelmingly the feedback was like, I thought that looked easy almost, or whatever, and they're like, that's the hardest thing I've ever done. Because it just redlines you.
Yeah, I thought getting under 50 minutes would be pretty straightforward for me.
Yeah.
I haven't got under 50 minutes yet. I'm a
You
few
will,
seconds off it.
Yeah, and I think what we find is all the strong Hyroxers that are the race snakes just say there's no recovery on the 400. No. It's just too short.
Yeah.
And it's like we say, it's the longest sprint. I mean, not that you're sprinting, but you're trying to get fast. So going into obviously your training, what you do, what would you say is your overarching training ethos? And we'll also go into your nutrition as well. So when it comes to training nutrition, what's the overarching ethos?
Sleep.
Number one.
Sleep, number one. Food.
Yeah.
And structured training. And I go on 6 weekly goals.
Yeah.
You've got to have that.
So every 6 weeks you have goals that you set, as in benchmark goals for performance metrics?
No, it's so in this off season, I'm injured at the moment, but here I'd be working a lot on strength.
Yeah.
And plyometrics and just.
Okay, so when it comes to say periodization, then if we're looking at say a fitness race season, let us know how your off-season looks, or the transition period where you're in between, you've finished the season, been to the world champs, maybe you have a couple of weeks off like some people do, you've got this off-season, how does that look? How does the sort of pre-season, more general training, into the sort of season, how does it look? Just give us an overview.
So this season would normally end, for me, for Hyrox, this is in June. I'd get back into the gym about now, probably the beginning of July, and it would be a lot of strength.
Yeah.
It would be typical 5x5. It would be squats. It would be
Sort of strong lifts, yes. Starting strength style stuff.
Yeah. And then on top of that, it would be long zone 2 runs, 90 minutes.
So it's almost polarized, not as in polarized as high intensity, but you've got strength, sort of strength rep ranges,
so
5 reps.
In the morning there would be a zone 2 run.
Yeah. And what's the average time duration for that?
For me, it's got to be over 70 minutes.
Okay.
And
what's the maximum you go to?
90 minutes.
Okay, between 70 and 90.
Yeah.
So you're well over
at
the
zone
hour.
2. At zone 2. It's got to be, for me, it's got to be over the hour.
And yeah, which I like. And when it comes to zone 2, you are running zone 2.
Yes, and I'll walk up hills if needs be.
Okay. So it is an easy run. Yeah. So it's sort of a conversational pace. Genuinely, 60% of max heart rate.
I talk it. If I have to open my mouth when I'm running, I have to slow down. That's okay. Without a watch, because just it's got to be like that.
Yeah, we have loads of members in here that use heart rate zones and everything, and I've wrote about them in the manual. I'm a big believer for myself in just RPE, just subjective measure how I feel.
A lot of my friends train as they call it naked. And they don't use these watches, and this is it's perfect. If you have to open your mouth when you're running, you slow down. Yeah,
there has been studies. Once you're experienced, they've done studies with athletes that are experienced where they are measuring their heart rate and they're having them do different activities. And actually, the more experienced they were across different modalities, the more close they were. So when they had the RPE scale and they really evaluated what the numbers were, they were actually very accurate. So the more experienced you are as an athlete doing a specific mode, whether it's cycling or running, actually it becomes very accurate. Yeah, swimming. Yeah. And it's also understanding that they can elicit different heart rates. So the impact of running can elicit a higher heart rate, for example, compared to cycling, which is low impact. So that's interesting. So you've got the zone 2, which is how many times a week?
It'll be 3 times this
week.
Yeah.
And then strength training, how many times a week?
3 times.
3 times. And that's all around that sort of mid-rep range.
Correct.
Just obviously point to note that...
No, low rep.
Low rep. Yeah. So what I mean, so that low rep, so 5 reps. I almost sometimes see it as mid-rep because...
because you're strengthening it.
But it's that upper tier strength.
For me, it's 5x5 is low
compared to conventional gym.
Yeah,
it's always good to note that when it comes to hypertrophy muscle building, any rep range develops muscle if there's sufficient overload, so progressive overload. But 5x5 is pretty much your classical. If you look at a lot of the American strength programs, long-standing, the Texas, some of these use different rep ranges, but strong lifts in particular, Mad Cow, stuff like this, a lot of it is at that 5x5, which is a standard sort of, the heavier you lift, the more strength you're going to gain. It's said specific adaptation to imposed man. You lift heavy, you get stronger. But that 5x5 is a real Goldilocks zone. Another popular program is 5-3-1, but it's based off that sort of 5x5 a lot of the time. There's always that 5 rep range, which is a real Goldilocks zone for working the body and building muscular strength. So you've got essentially polarized in a sense that you've got strength training and more true strength training, and then you've got zone 2, and that's the backbone of what you do for how long?
For about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I will start the threshold training.
And what does that look like?
That looks like 400 meters at pretty much zone 4, zone 5, straight into a Hyrox style. I say a Hyrox style exercise. Yeah. It could be anything.
It's mixed modality training, compromise.
So it could be sled push or a sled pull, or a drag back, or it could be a grounder overhead, or it could be a snatch.
And is it a circuit or is it one exercise and a 400?
It's an exercise and then a 400.
And it stays the same exercise?
No, I will. If I were doing 8 500, there would be 4 different exercises.
Okay, yeah. So it's almost like the circuit training, labour fitness type stuff.
And so that would be 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then the other 3 sessions, if I'm not doubling up, would be a typical a circuit, so a 40-20, for example.
And are you keeping up with the zone 2 and the strength during this phase?
Not the strength, the zone 2 I am, yeah.
Okay, so your strength sort of transitions into the circuit
correct,
work, as in the sort of more specific exercises.
Correct.
Goes from general prep, squats, deadlifts, presses, into circuits.
So from August until June, I'll very rarely do chest press.
Yeah.
I very rarely do deadlift.
Yeah.
And I won't go squat heavy. I will just,
And some people might just microdose with one strength session a week where it's total body, like squat, bench, deadlift, for examples, low rep range, ones, twos, threes, 2 to 3 sets. People like Mike Ball even sometimes had athletes do 1 set, just work up to a single set, like top set training. Just to keep that muscular stem stimulated. So once you've gained a performance quality, often it's harder to gain, but easier to maintain. It's the same with muscle. So once you've developed that muscle, it's hard to develop muscle, but it's easier to maintain if your nutrition's right and you're just stimulating it.
Yes.
Another way of stimulating that strength is obviously sprint work, because it's maximal, and also plyometrics, the jump training. But when you're doing the circuit training, for example, are you lifting heavy on the weights? Do you overload the weights, or do you tend to stick to race weights?
No, I tend to race weights. If I'm carrying, it will be race weights.
Yeah.
If it's overhead, and because there's not much overhead, it will be relatively light.
Yeah.
But high reps.
And do you do tempo runs during this phase? So sustained efforts while running at a higher intensity than zone 2?
Not in those sessions. No, I would then as we move through the season.
Yeah.
I'd be building in hill running, sprints, and fartlek. Yeah.
Yeah, which is obviously speed play.
Yeah.
Varied running for how long would a fartlek session last?
About 40 to 45 minutes, not much longer than that.
And it's just completely varied: walk, run, jog, walk, run, jog.
And I would go to a lamppost or a moving car or a person with a dog or whatever.
Yeah, and sort of during that phase, how does that look then? What's the training split throughout the week? So we've gone from that phase where you've got free sort of circuits and whatnot, and you've got the free zone 2, was it?
Yeah.
Next phase, how's that looking?
I'm still doing the zone 2. Because that's
still 3 a week?
Yep, 3 a week. And as winter sets in...
And sorry to interrupt, is zone 2 always running, or is it sometimes...
I was just about to say, as winter sets in and looking after the knees, because I'm getting older, I will just sit on my rower, or I'll sit on my ski, or I'll sit on my bike for 20 minutes and I'll rotate.
Okay, rotate through the ergs. Yeah, it's something I enjoy
because
doing.
Otherwise, if you sat,
I mean,
I don't mind doing 20k on a row, because that's an hour and 20, an hour and 25. But it's mind-blowingly numbingly just boring. So you just mix and match.
Yeah, we did. We rode the channel in here, which was 31k. So we did.
I saw that.
Yeah, that took ages. That was pretty horrific. I can't remember my time. It was all right. But
actually, that's something I want to do. Actually.
Yeah.
No, not row the channel.
What does my time say on the erg?
Row the Atlantic.
2:22:52.
2:22:52. And what does it say beneath in terms of the K? What was it? Is it 31k or something like that? The channel.
34k.
34k, and I did it in 2:22. Yeah, and what we also did in here was we skied up and down Mount Everest, so that was 18k on the ski. That was horrific as well. My time's on the board over there. Look at that sound.
They are horrible machines.
See the board right in front of you below the flag? The Deadly Dozen flag, where I'm pointing, look that way, near the window.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. It's like when I ask my kids to pass me something, can't see it.
Yeah.
There's the ski erg one, what did I do that in?
Ski up and down Mount Everest, 18k. J, 109.
109 for 18k. That was hard. I went for that. I was fit on. I'd done a lot of work for that.
That's pretty rapid.
Yeah, that was grim. That was
206 average.
Yeah, I think I was holding. I think I was holding sub 2 a lot of it for the 18k.
That's a lot.
Yeah. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. Yeah, the rower I sort of
But your
paced. but
hips
the
were
ski-
absolutely in bits the next day.
Yeah, what was it that really got me?
Hips and triceps.
To be honest, I could feel it in my knees as well, because just this constant little slight knee
Yeah,
bend as
yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing it. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. So without that, so you rotate through the ergs. I quite like doing 400s as well, where I rotate through
Yeah.
the ergs, and go hard on each.
Amongst all this, at the backbone is a gym I go to in Woburn, where I started off my training. It's Strong. It was called Caveman Conditioning. It's now called Strong.
Yeah.
And there, and his Neil Webb is a good friend of mine who I've done a few, more than a few Hyrox races with. He runs a fantastic strength and conditioning course setup, and basically it's circuits.
Yeah.
And that really is, I would say, the backbone of all my training.
Yeah. And would you say, so during that phase then, is there any point at which you do the tempo runs where it's just a sustained effort for example, for as long as you're running a Hyrox for? Are you doing like fresh old 10Ks? Or is that not something you do?
No, it's not something I do. It's not something I do. But I will, but every sort of 4 or 5 weeks, I will do a full simulation.
Every 4 to 5 weeks,
Yeah.
and you feel that's about right?
Yeah. And as this, yes. The season before, I probably did too many races.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, once I'd got to September,
Yeah.
I was racing all the way through to May,
Yeah.
which was no good.
Yeah.
It's different if you're 24.
No, well, that's it. It's age. We do find that people at one stage, because novices will over sim, and people when you find something new, you're going to sim all the time. I'm just going to do the sim, and it's not the way to go. So all the education was pushing towards don't just sim all the time. But actually, when you look at a lot of the best athletes, what are they doing? They're competing a lot. So it's almost like, yes, they're doing race sims out, and then they're also competing.
Yeah.
If you look at most athletes, the ones that excel, they play their sport a lot. I mean, the sport of fitness racing is the race.
Yeah.
And, if you think about a football player playing football every
exactly.
weekend, Hyroxers, they're going and Hyroxing, deadly dozeners, they're going to be doing them often. So although we can say you want your GPP, your general preparation, fundamentally athletes do a lot of their sport. Like other athletes, like an MMA fighter, yes, they're going to be doing strength and conditioning that's very general, but they're doing their sport a lot. Now that's where there's a bit of nuance with fitness racing, where the gym is essentially our sport. So it's like, well, yes, we want to have general preparation, and that's the backbone of any program, getting strong, zone 2, all this sort of stuff. But also that element of, yes, we might say don't oversim, but then when you look at the best racers, they're racing all the time.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
But obviously it's dependent on age as well, and we have to manage that.
And the
burnout.
taper and the recovery afterwards.
And how does your sort of peaking phase and your taper look?
I used to, if I was racing on a Saturday, and we're assuming it's racing on a Saturday,
Yeah.
now it's all changed, but assuming it was racing on a Saturday, my last exercise would be on a Thursday, which was, fine.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything Thursday, travelled on Friday, raced on Saturday, and you're always racing at 11 a.m. because that's how it was.
Yeah. The glory days, look at that.
And then you came back on the plane, or you came back on the motorway if it was a UK race, and then you're back training Sunday or Monday.
And what did you eat on race day?
Exactly the same as I normally do. So it would be.
It's a good tip. Don't
porridge.
change everything.
Don't change anything. So it's porridge, overnight porridge with fruit and linseed and nuts and seeds. So it was 11 a.m. So then I'd probably have a banana, and that would be it.
And you take the electrolytes and.
I would, yes. I use electrolytes throughout the day.
Yeah.
I would probably have 1.5 liters before that.
Yeah.
I'd have one gel before the start and one gel during.
Okay.
And that would be it.
And do you feel there's enough time to really mechanise the gel, or do you drink during the
I
Hyrox, for example?
I don't drink during the race unless it's something like Nice, which was last year, which was like
or some of our deadly dozens are red hot.
Yeah, that's you've got to take on. Even though you're racing for 50 minutes, you've got to take it on.
Okay.
Fluid,
And so when it comes to mindset during a race, what's the sort of your ethos when it comes to mindset. So how are you feeling during a race?
Most of the time, pretty uncomfortable.
And do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I do. That's
Yeah.
why I do it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be doing it if you wouldn't be going into a dark place if you didn't enjoy it.
Well, there's some people it's type 2 fun. You know, they don't enjoy walking up the mountain, but they sort of enjoy the experience. So there's an element of a lot of people don't enjoy suffering.
No,
but
that's true. No,
it's type 2
Yeah, it is. I mean, I love
or secondary.
about
enjoyment.
sort of 300 or 400 meters into the ski.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll probably with the run in and the run out, it will be about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
4:02, 4:03, something like that. And then I usually love the skis. The sleds.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's great. The burpee broad jumps are just a disaster for me.
Yeah, because you're a big guy.
And I'll lose 2 minutes there. And
have you ever thought about just doing lots and lots of burpees in training? Like Hunter McIntyre does a lot, doesn't he? Weight vest on, burpees for days.
I do hundreds and
you?
thousands. I jump over boxes. I do standard, jumps. I do everything. And
Well, it's the bottom line is some guy. I've worked with guys that they've just got the levers to squat, and they come in. And I got a guy that could barely, he just didn't look like he could. What just squat, mate? 250. He put 250 straight on, squatting it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
250 kilo. I've seen guys that come in and they can just deadlift. Some guys they've got the levers, and it sounds like excuses, but levers are everything.
Yep.
When it comes to the biomechanics of a lift, and it translates to fitness racing. We see the bear crawl. We saw someone, didn't we, on, I don't know if you watched, do you see the bear crawl? We saw it. Someone this bloke, he was quite short, and he bear crawled. It was inhuman. It was like when you see a spider scuttle across your, and it's levers. And then his partner, they were a fantastic bet. His partner looked slow. His partner was probably normal, but he looked slow compared to his other partner. And it's the same with burpee broad jumps. Some people just have springs for legs. Some people are stronger. Some people are just lungs, aren't they? They're just a walking lung.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of fitness racing, that you've got that. So what happens if you hit the red zone and you've gone too hard? What's your sort of mindset then? Are you someone that pulls back? Do you get stressed when you're racing? If things go wrong, how are you as a racer? Are you calm? Are you angry? When people are in your way on the run, it doesn't really happen on Deadly Dozen because we've got a big track.
Yeah, I do
Hyrox
get
can be busy.
I can get quite angst.
Yeah.
And I try and calm down on the row, which is when the race really starts for me.
Yeah.
And I try and calm myself down. So instead of doing a 4:05 row, I might do a 4:18, 4:20 row just to try and recover and try and get myself back on track. Chicago was different because I knew the race being blown.
Yeah.
I went in first on the sleds. I came out 12th.
Wow.
And that's my fault.
Demotivated. So speaking about how your sort of mindset is on, obviously a lot of Hyrox, how is it on the Deadly Dozen going through the stations? So what was your strategy? What key points throughout the race? So obviously we've got the farmers carry, the deadlift, the lunge, the snatch. What are key points for you?
So the burpee broad jumps and the bear crawl.
Yeah.
They're the two I need to improve on to get to 48 minutes.
Yeah.
The others I'll go unbroken. That's my...
All of them, even the squats.
Yeah.
Because this is the interesting point with Deadly Dozen. I'll do the push press in one go. I don't do the squat in one go. I do the deadlift in one go. Don't obviously put the dumbbells down for the lunge. But I do think sometimes there's certain ones that...
You've got to, do you think?
I think you haven't got to. It's different. It's like even the weight plate clean and press. It's like I'm wrestling between, with the weight plate clean and press, do I do 30, get a break, and then do another 30, or do I do 40, then 20? It's like with the goblet squats, someone did 30, 20, 10, and that's good because your last set's not blowing your legs before the run.
You see, that's... ask me in September, because I'd like to race in September in Bristol. Mm-hmm. That's where my partner and I were going to do a doubles, but that's blown out the window for the moment. But if my running's improved, then I'd I'd probably have to decide where I'm going to go unbroken.
Yeah.
And where I'm going to rest.
Yeah.
Clean and snatch, no, that's pretty straightforward. Devil press, well, I don't know, you just hang on and
See, I think
it's horrible.
devil presses, swing them, go
it's definitely hips.
Yeah, use your
it's
hips.
It's like the kettlebell. You just swing it up and get up as quickly as possible.
And I actually do that. I do almost like a kettlebell swing ball with the snatch now, rather than just a more traditional snatch technique.
But it's interesting that you say the squats, because that's the third one, is it?
No, for number 5. So you've got farmer's carry, deadlift, lunge. Snatch, burpee broad jump is 5, goblet squat is 6. So that first half of the race I see is lower heavy, and then it's plate front carry, which is my transition into the second half, which I find easier, and I find I'm stronger, even though the bear crawl's very hard. Burpee broad jump spanked me as well, but I find the second half, because I've got overhead strength, easier than the first
last
half.
4 events for me, stations are okay, because it's shoulders and it's core, so that's okay. Yeah, possibly if I was running faster, I would probably break on the squats then, yeah.
Yeah. And it's are you going to run harder or labour harder?
Labour harder.
And then try and not push the runs too far.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not a runner. I'm not a racing snake.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the same for me.
And
really.
that would get me under 50 minutes, which is what I need to be.
Yeah, I mean that's where you, for 60 plus age category, sub 50, you're elite. You're very elite, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like
motoring. I don't think, and I've got the fastest time at the moment.
Yeah.
In the 60 age group, probably second fastest in the 50 to 59.
So just so people know, what's your sort of Hyrox open time and pro time?
Open time is 1:09:09.
Yeah.
Pro time is 1:17:12.
Yeah.
When I was 59.
And you're just over 50 minutes for the deadly dozen.
Yeah. Just a few seconds over the 50 minutes.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That gives people a metric. And obviously, what we would say is we've had no one break 40 minutes. I think the world class, the elite of the elite, will break 40. Yeah. Sub 45 seems to be the elite times. You know, the best in the world at the moment are 43, 44. Yeah. Anyone sub 50 is like very fast. In the older age, we have 50-year-olds do it, but no one 60 has done sub 50, so you'd be the first. So yeah, very, very good times. Anyone under 60 is doing well. It's hard to break 60 for people.
Yeah.
And then we get everyone sort of, most people are falling that 70 to 80, and obviously we do get people doing it in around 2 hours. But you can get it done in 2 hours with sort of a very slow jog on them. So when it comes to, obviously we've established very disciplined with your training and your nutrition and lifestyle as a whole and racing. How does this factor into, you know, your work and lifestyle ethos? Obviously you've had a full career. I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I qualified as a solicitor, and then 25 years ago changed into IoT connected sales, IoT connected devices, so telemetry. Okay. But measuring time, distance, speed, and it's the explosion in the type of data now has gone exponential.
Yeah.
Most of these connected devices are. You probably have half a dozen in your life you wouldn't even know are there. But I was selling business to business.
Yeah.
Since COVID, I've taken on a consultancy role in the IoT world, selling devices and building businesses in the UK, Middle East, and Western Europe. But about 5 years, I qualified as a PT over 20 years ago, about 25 years ago. But started as a PT, took it up again about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And sort of building my client base slowly.
Yeah.
Through that, because that's what I enjoy. I can't see my IT consultancy work lasting much more than a couple more years, because of the speed of change.
Yeah.
You know, it's immense, and keeping up with the speed of change. And the question is, I don't really want to. It's hard work, and it's less enjoyable now. I want to get involved with functional fitness racing because I'm pretty good at it, and I know what I'm talking about. I like to think I know what I'm talking about. And I want to build a client base through that. So that's the plan. Yeah.
So he's already a red shirt anyway. So we'll get you at Deadly Dozen, and then, like I say, there's loads of opportunities here, and obviously you've got that client base already. You one of the first people to sign up as an affiliate really, and run DFTs on the track. So yeah, I'm really excited for us to sort of, network and work together, build events across the UK, and also look at other ways that we can work together to sort of maximise not just Deadly Dozen, but fitness racing and grow the sport.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very exciting few years for the world of fitness racing with, off the back of CrossFit and other events and OCR and into Hyrox, which has sort of led the charge with this sort of what has become fitness racing.
And there's lots of other fitness racing sort of companies and one-off events, and it's a very exciting time.
Well, it's going to be, someone said to me, the local leisure centre where we did the first track race has now got a fitness race, very much hybrid Hyrox style with a few Deadly Dozen stations. And my aim was always to have it sort of, Hyrox Decker, Deadly Dozen, 8, 10, 12. And every new race is almost like a mashup of them. That was sort of like what I was sort of hoping for. And someone said to me, oh, they've copied quite a bit of Deadly. And I was like, pretty much every public sector gym is going to have a little fitness race.
Yeah.
Every independent gym is going to have their own hybrid games and stuff you see up and down the country. And there's going to be a whole wash of them. And that's what Deadly Dozen wants to be, is that one that is like really established as like global leaderboards.
It's the Deadly Dozen, the go-to, because you can have a little room as a gym and you can do absolutely everything.
Yeah. And that was the key to it. But obviously, ultimately, the sport of fitness racing is benefiting by, fulfilling the demand. People want to race, and that's the bottom line. So the way we finish the podcast is we have a little 3, 2, 1 go.
Yeah.
And it starts off 3 words or phrases that define your ethos, 2 habits you swear by, and then 1 final piece of advice for the listener. So we'll start off then, Myles. 3 words or phrases that define your ethos.
For me, it's practice makes permanent.
Yeah.
That's bedrock for me.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Like that one.
What was the other one?
So you got 2 more words or phrases that define your ethos. So there's 3 of them to start.
Okay.
Can just be a word,
Yes, I think commitment.
Yeah.
And repeatability.
Repeatability.
Yeah.
Got to be, and explain repeatability.
Repeatability.
What that means to you?
For me, in hybrid racing, it's being able to go at the same tempo for the whole race.
Yeah.
And being able to turn that up if you need to.
Yeah.
And not red line on the first station. Not red line, for example, on the lunges and then just finish off in an hour and a half in the Deadly Dozen, or not blowing up on the ski and just crawling through the rest of it. It's all about repeatability and being constant. So going up and just staying that level.
Yeah, being on it.
Just on the edge of it, just on the edge, and that's for me. That's my nice zone. People say that's a dark place to be. It's a really painful place to be, but I like being there.
I agree. I'm similar. I like there's a little bit of a Goldilocks zone of that suffering, and suffering's a harsh word, but suffering leads to satisfaction, and it's there's a Goldilocks zone, and then there's that extra little bit I say that is where you're really suffering, and it starts to get really stressful. There's that tipping point, but I like teetering on that level where you get that flow state almost. You're really uncomfortable, but you've not gone too far. And that's the perfect race pace. And there's a real Goldilocks zone. It changes for every race. All the different activities affect it differently.
I think whether you if you follow cricket, people say when they're in the zone, it's almost like they're hitting a beach ball, or when they're a downhill skier. And they're just flowing through the gates, and they're not hitting anything. And it's the same kind of thing. It doesn't happen often, But in a fitness race, when it really flows, you know on the start line it's going to be like that.
Yeah, you're flying.
Yeah.
A few people have said that actually. So 2 habits you swear by.
Eat correctly
Yeah,
and sleep.
sleep. Sleep's number 1. And 1 final piece of advice for the listener.
Be honest with your training. Don't scrimp. If you want to do well, if you want to do something, if you want to finish it, or if you want to podium, or if you want to do the best you can, don't kid yourself, because it's
Don't cheat yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
Do the work.
Yeah.
I often do that where I say I'm going to do a workout in the gym and you get halfway through it and no one's watching, no one's in the gym. And you're like, I feel done here. But it's like, you know, even if it's a race sim or you're doing a DFT, and sometimes I'm like, I'm feeling done and there's no one there.
Well,
and I literally have that inner voice say to me like, you know, basically is discipline is self-respect. And it's like, if I basically just say to myself, I know deep down that I've basically just given up then if no one's watching. And I'm like, I've given up.
Jay, 50% of my training is done on my own.
Yeah.
You know, it's me and the music and the dog.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? People want to be, they'll be more accountable to someone else, whereas the most important person to be accountable to is yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're number 1. Be accountable to yourself.
It's not always
Don't
easy.
let yourself
you know?
down.
Yeah. It's not always easy for me to be accountable to myself, but it's good.
Yeah, internal monologue. Brilliant. Right, like I say, Myles, it's been fantastic meeting you at the first ever Deadly Dozen. Well, the second ever
Second
Deadly
one, I think
Dozen.
it was. Yeah, I missed the first.
It was fantastic to meet you. It's been great, and obviously we've stayed in touch since, all the way to you becoming one of our sort of red shirts and helping out in the day. And I'm sure we're going to continue to keep, you know, growing together in our ventures and what we do, because you've been an important part of fitness racing, you know, being the early days of Hyrox. And I've got lots to learn from you and vice versa. And I think we can definitely work together to make some waves.
Brilliant. Thanks,
Cheers, Myles. Thank you.
Cheers. All the best. Thank you.